Good evening and welcome to WDW Opinion Live. Thank you so very much for being here. My name is Conor Brown and I'm a lifelong Disney fan who's been traveling to Disney World for over 20 years. And I'm also a former cast member, so I know what it takes to make the magic. My passion is simple. It's to help you plan for and daydream about your next perfect Disney World vacation. I do that by sharing my blog, podcast, these Facebook live streams, and so much more. Head over to WDWOpinion.com to see all of our content and learn more about what we are all about. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you are having an awesome Tuesday night. I hope your week has gotten off to a good start. I love being here and getting to see all you beautiful people each and every week. We have our biggest fan, of course, Austin Lee, all the way from Orlando. He's a Disney local, maybe not by choice, but by life. Nice to see you as always, Austin. I hope everyone is doing great. If you do show up, please let us know if this is your first time watching in the comments. Let us know where you're coming from. If you have a fun Disney opinion you want to share it in there. Those comments section is what helps grow the WDW opinion community, and we want it to get as big as possible. And also share this show out so that your friends can tune in and talk about their love of Disney World as well. I'll tell you what, I was feeling the love this past weekend when it comes to the WDW opinion community. We posted a photo on Instagram and on Facebook about It's a Small World, and I didn't realize how much traction it was actually going to get. I asked a simple question. Do we actually love It's a Small World, or do we love to hate it? Because it's always so cool to hate It's a Small World, right? You always walk past it, people say, oh, that ride's awful, oh, I hate that song, ooh, it sucks. But at the end of the day, people still go on it. It's a classic. So I teed that question up. Do people actually hate it, or do we just like to pretend to hate it? And the response was out of control. We had almost 400 comments on that one photo alone, people sharing their thoughts and opinions, and I gotta say, a majority of people love It's a Small World. I guess that makes sense. It is a classic. It's been around since the 1964 World's Fair, went out to Disneyland, and then when Magic Kingdom opened in Orlando in 1971, they had an It's a Small World there as well. Sue Brown is coming to us from Maryland. I know she loves It's a Small World. Everyone else who's watching, what is your favorite Disney World classic attraction? Is it It's a Small World? Is it Haunted Mansion? Is it Pirates of the Caribbean? Let me know what you think. I think It's a Small World always gets a bad rap. I'm one who kind of feeds in on that. I do think it's fun to make fun of it, but it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. I would love to go out to Disneyland to see that version because I know it's very different when compared to the Orlando version. There's a great facade there, but it's just cool to see so many passionate It's a Small Worlders. Yes, I'm coining that term. If you love It's a Small World, you're an It's a Small Worlder. All right, so what we're going to do here today, we're going to go over some latest Disney World news. We're going to go over some WDW opinion content, and then we're going to see what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on all of that stuff. So let's dive in to our first story. And it was a big one. We kind of knew about this, but Disney was waiting to announce it until someone down the street, Universal, they announced their new roller coaster is coming to Islands of Adventure in Hogsmeade, which is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. They're getting a new Hagrid roller coaster. It's been in development for a very long time, but we finally got a name for that. Well, as soon as Universal named it, as soon as they released new concept art, Disney, boom, almost beat them to the punch. They launched the announcement that Epcot is getting a new entrance. So this is very cool. There will be exciting changes coming to the way you come into Epcot. As you can see above, so where is it? Right there, up in that corner. You can see above, there's a new main entrance where the plaza will welcome guests with new pathways, sweeping green spaces, a newly reimagined fountain, and the new design will pay homage to the original park entrance. So if you go into the park right now, you see all those Leave a Legacy stones. It's where, back in the day you could get your photo and then it was etched on basically these stones. Those stones are moving to the outside of the park before you get in, kind of like those, stones on the ground leading up to Magic Kingdom. I'm okay with that. I always thought it was kind of, no one was ever going that way. So on a busy day, it would all bottleneck down the middle, just create havoc. Opening up this area, having more greenway, more green space, I think is just going to do better from a guest experience standpoint, from a park operation standpoint, and I think it's going to be a nicer entrance. Now are the days of, Epcot always looking very beautiful, whether it's at Flower and Garden or even, Festival of the Arts. They always have such great green spaces and things like that. I think this is going to set the tone very well for it. It's going to be completely different, and I think that's important to point out. But it's going to, I think, be better in the end. They've announced that Epcot's going to be going under a huge change, a huge renovation. I think this is just one more step that we're finally learning about this new entranceway and things like that, that new fountain. They've also gone on to say, if you're excited about what's coming, you can head over to the Experience Center, which is in between Horizons, I believe. The Experience Center will be located in the Odyssey Events Pavilion in Future World. It'll feature interactive exhibits to help visualize park projections and this unprecedented period of change in the park. You'll be able to see everything that's going on with it there. Another new feature coming to Epcot that they announced is a new play pavilion. So the ongoing evolution of Epcot includes plans for a play pavilion that will be unlike anything you've ever seen at the park before. This new space will be devoted to playful fun and feature an innovative city that'll come to life under the dome of the unnamed pavilion previously known as Wonders of Life. The artist formerly known as Wonders of Life. That's kind of where the Festival Center is. So if you've ever been to the Festival Center for Food and Wine or Flower and Garden, that's going to be closing to make way for this new play pavilion. If you've seen the artist renderings, it's a lot of it looks like Wreck-It Ralph or Ralph Breaks the Internet. It's not going to be like that fully, but I think there's going to be some new technologies there. I think it's going to be very kid-centric. When you think about what goes on that side of the park, there's going to be the new Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, Mission Space is there, Test Track is there. That's very thrill seeker heavy. So this new pavilion on that side, or this reimagined pavilion rather, is going to appeal to kids, to families, so that side of the park kind of has that box checked, which I think is great. Sue Brown is saying they hopefully the twinkling nighttime pavements stays. That is always a cool feature at Epcot, especially when you're walking out after illuminations. I'm sure there's going to be something like that, if that thing doesn't actually stay there. But big changes are coming, and even big changes are coming past the entrance and past Spaceship Earth. That new, where Innovations is, where Starbucks is, those buildings might be undergoing some massive change, if not demolished completely. Those are going to be announcements coming down the pike later. What's going to happen with the fountains of the world fountains in the middle of Future World there? What's going to happen to the entrance of World Showcase? There's a lot of things that are up in the air. Disney hasn't confirmed or denied anything yet. This is kind of the first step, us letting us know that the new entrance is coming, what it's going to look like. So this is a sign of new things to come, but also eventually more announcements to come as well. So if you guys excited to see this new entrance to Epcot, do you want to have the Legacy Stones stay there? Do you hate change? What is it? Let us know in the comments below. And we're going to move on to our second news story of the week. I'll be honest, other than that Epcot thing, it's kind of a slow news story week this week, but Delish merchandise is coming to the parks. So this is kind of interesting. Delish is a brand that Disney just came out with that is merchandise and accessories and apparel themed to Disney World food. Sounds weird, and I know, but here's from the blog article that Disney wrote. Inspired by the popular retail trend of turning food into merchandise, which I didn't know was a retail trend or popular enough to be mentioned as one, Disney Delish products were designed to remind guests of favorite theme park treats. The sights and smells of food that guests love from Disney parks is now distinctly Disney merchandise, explained Kate Thompson, a merchandise strategy manager who's part of the team that cooked up this idea. Through research, the merchandise team saw that food-shaped products were a hot dish. So, using the findings, Disney creative groups created a smorgasbord of Disney food-inspired art. Ugh, these food puns are awful by the Disney Parks blog. Ugh. That became products created especially for Disney parks. Soon, tumblers resembling pineapple swirls from Adventureland, socks patterned with cupcakes, were packed into cupcake containers, and a Minnie Mouse headband was transformed by adding donut-shaped ears. So this is kind of interesting. I think some of this stuff is cool. I think some of this stuff is just ridiculous, but that's a lot of what Disney Parks merchandise is. I do think if you see those, I'll never get this right. There it is right there. It's reverse for me. That first thing there, those pizza, it's pizza socks, and it comes like it's shaped like a pizza. I think that's kind of cool. I know that they have some Dole Whip pillows, so they look like a Dole Whip, and it actually smells like pineapple. There's some cupcake stuff like that too. I think that's interesting. You know, Disney is always trying to push the envelope when it comes to merchandise, push the envelope when it comes to food. This is kind of bringing both of those things together. And they're appealing to iconic Disney treats like the Dole Whip, like those, citrus swirls, like churros, things like that. But they also know that this is a very Instagram friendly product. People are going to buy this so that they can post photos of them wearing this merch. I think it's interesting. Will I buy any of it? Who's to say? I do think the packaging is very cool, and I think Disney is also smart because what they're seeing is, collectors. If you look over here, if I was to turn the camera, you could see all my Funko Pops, which are those little vinyl collectibles. I have a whole bunch of Disney ones. I have a couple other ones, but they're all still in their container. The reason they're in their container is I think it makes a better display than actually taking it out. I can stack them, things like that. This packaging on this Delish merchandise is kind of the same thing. The socks that are pizza-like are in the pizza shaped package. So that's something where you might not even wear the socks. You might just display that on your cabinet, in your bookshelf, whatever it might be. So I think that's cool. There's other things like takeout boxes that they put items in. So, even if you want what's inside, you might end up keeping the container itself. That's kind of interesting. It's neat. Austin's a big pizza guy. He hasn't had a whole lot of pizza lately. He's been killing the smoothie game from what I've been told. He looks great. Ladies, he's single from what I've been told. Pizza socks, that's a must buy. He's clearly salivating at the mouth because he hasn't eaten gluten in months. But that's probably why Austin is so happy for those pizza socks. I might have to snag myself a pair of pizza socks as well the next time I'm down there. All right, so enough food merchandise. Let's move on to story number 3. It's about the Bippity Boppity Boutique. So this is absolutely one of the most popular things little girls can do at Disney World. You see them all the time walking through the parks in their princess best. They love to get made up like this, and it's a great experience. It's interesting, if you walk past Bippity Boppity Boutique, the families are happy, the cast members in there are happy, the little girls who are, turning into a princess, they're happy. So this is a very, very popular thing to do. It's very expensive, of course. I know also when I worked there as a cast member in Magic Kingdom in Disney World, this was a hot, role people wanted. People wanted to be a fairy godmother in training, which is what these, makeup artists and stylists do at the Bippity Boppity Boutique. So it's a popular role even to do that for cast members. So the Bippity Boppity Boutique at Walt Disney World is not only expanding its Magic Kingdom location is actually inside Cinderella Castle. So it's expanding that location to add in more chairs. It's also opening a brand new location at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. The popular boutique offers royal transformations where fairy godmothers in training make them into princesses or knights. I've never seen a knight, I don't think, but that makes sense, just, so others can participate in that. The other location, apart from Cinderella Castle, is Disney Springs. So you can go to either of those locations for now. And then, in the coming months, the Bippity Boppity Boutique will be opening at Disney's Grand Floridian. I think that's cool just because this thing is very, very popular. So it can book up in advance before you go. Having more options means having people have more opportunity to, see it in other places. Maybe you're not going into Magic Kingdom that day, but you want to head over to get that makeup done so that you can go to another park. That might be a good option. I also think for photo opportunities, having it done at Grand Floridian, that's going to be a very cute photo opportunity when you come outside. There's the carriage there, in the main lobby. It's very grand like that. So obviously, as the name implies, I think that could be a nice little element in addition to that. So there you go. If you've done the Bippity Boppity Boutique, let us know what you think, your thoughts and opinions on if it was worth it, if it wasn't. Clearly enough people like it to where they're expanding their flagship location in Cinderella's castle, and they're adding a third one at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. All right, let's move into some WDW opinion content. First up is our article of the week. So this is an article I wrote last year, actually, but I updated it for 2019, and that's why this is the summer to go to Disney World. We kind of talked about this on the podcast this week as well. But basically, summer has always been avoid it at all costs. Avoid this season no matter what. Well, I think if you have to go, and there are plenty of people who can only go during summer, then this is the summer to go. Here's why. And it's simple. I talk about it on almost every single show. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. There are plenty of people who are waiting to experience that land at Disney's Hollywood Studios before they plan their next vacation. They say, hey, we want to see that. Why don't we just wait? Well, let's not go this summer. Let's wait until next summer. Let's wait until the fall, wait until Christmas. Pump your brakes on this summer. Galaxy's Edge isn't going to be open then. Well, Disney is seeing this, and we know that, rooms are down during the summer months because Disney is offering, these new deals like the free dining program where they've never offered that in the summer before. But plenty of people, can only go during the summer. That's the only time they can get vacation. That's the only time they're comfortable, pulling their kids who aren't in school, taking them to Florida. They're not comfortable pulling them out of school when it's in session. That's totally fine. I get that. Florida is always so hot. It's crowded during the summer. So there's multiple reasons to avoid it. But if you have to go during that period, this is the summer to go because you're going to see lower crowds when compared to summers of previous years. And going forward, those crowds are just going to get bigger and bigger as more attractions come online, as we get closer to the 50th anniversary of Disney World in 2021. Summer this year is going to be a low when it comes to summer. Okay, I can't iterate that enough. Plus, we already have so much new stuff to experience that it's probably worth going in summer. Yes, you're not going to get to experience Star Wars Galaxy's Edge or Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but you're going to experience new things like Toy Story Land, which will be open for a year. It will mark its year anniversary June 30th, 31st, I believe. Pandora is still only 2 years old when it comes to its birthday at the end of May. So there's still plenty of new things to see, new experiences to do. Disney Springs is a completely transformed place. They're still adding new dining experiences, new shops there. There's plenty of things to see there. So this summer is probably the best summer for a while to go, and there's plenty to see and do. So if you're planning the Disney World vacation, why would it Why do you choose to go during summer if that's what you have planned next? Let us know. Send us your emails to Conor, Conor, at WDWOpinion.com. I want to know what's propelling you to go to Disney World in the summer months, or if it's something that you always avoid. Why do you go during summer to Disney World? And if you have to go, this is the year to go. All right, so that's what's on the blog. You can head over to WDWOpinion.com to read the full post. But let's move over to the podcast. This week's podcast, episode 31. So it's entitled, What Will Disney World's 50th Anniversary Look Like? The reason it's titled that is because this is actually a listener email, a listener question show. So we've gotten a lot of questions from listeners via email, via Facebook, and we decided, hey, let's answer them on one show. We did that with episode 31, and one of our favorite questions was from listener Danielle, who said, what do you think Disney World's 50th anniversary is going to look like? And for what Hank and I, my co-host, what we talked about is there's going to be celebrations. It's going to last longer than a year in 2021 for sure. But what we think, what it's actually going to look like is a year of culmination. What does this mean? We know there's so much new coming online. Every announcement we've got so far is hopefully going to be done by 2021, by that 50th anniversary, because Disney wants every park to be firing on all cylinders. So it's going to be a year where there's not going to be a whole lot of new things coming online. They'll already have been online for the most part, but it's going to be a year of culmination. Things are going to be open. We're going to experience it all. Hopefully there's going to be a limit on construction walls going up. There's going to be, everything in tip-top shape, things like that. So that's what we really focused on when we answered that question. We got a lot of other great questions like, is it, worth it to take a 2-year-old to Disney World? Because, there's no price there. They don't have to pay to get in, but will they remember it? What we answered that question with was, they won't remember it, but if you want to take them during that point, it's great because it's free to you. It doesn't cost you a dime for anyone 3 and younger, under 3, I should say. But you're taking them at that age because you're going to see through their eyes. You're going to live Disney World through them. You're going to be entertained by their reactions. And we also brought up an interesting point with nowadays, everyone has one of these, right? You got a cell phone. So the ability to capture the memories is so much more powerful than in any time before in human history. So yes, while they might not remember it, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to capture those memories so that they can see it later down the line. So I would say, if you really, really want to go, take your 2-year-old. Who cares? They're free and they're not going to remember it, but you're going to have a great time doing it, and you're going to be able to share the stories with them later on when they grow up. We got a lot of other great questions like, what time is the best time to go to Disney World? Things about how to combine Rider Switch with Fast Pass. Rider Switch is when, a parent stays with a child who can't ride because they're too short while the other parent goes on the ride, how that works. Some other questions, about our lives personally. I answered some questions about what Disney World attractions do we want to see in Disneyland? What Disneyland attractions do we want to see in Disney World, if any at all? So it was a fun discussion. We love it a lot. If you've never listened to the show, be sure to. You can listen to it anywhere you find podcasts by simply searching WDW Opinion. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever platform you listen to. Just search WDW Opinion. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment, leave a review on those podcasts, and send any ideas you have. If you have questions, let us know what you think about the podcast, about the Facebook page, about the blogs. We'd love to get feedback from you. You can send all of those to Conor, Conor, at WDWOpinion.com. Sue asked a great question. She says, will the castle look like a cake again? Very interesting. For the 25th anniversary, that was one of the biggest, I guess you could say, flubs in Disney World history. They decorated the Cinderella Castle to look exactly like the birthday cake. I honestly wouldn't be too upset if they brought that back. I think it'd be hilarious. I don't think Disney's going to do that. Unfortunately, I think they're going to theme the castle maybe to the 50th anniversary, put up some 50th anniversary signs and things like that, but I don't think we're going to see a return of the cake anytime soon. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for me this week. Thank you so very much for watching. If you are watching on the replay, be sure to tune in every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on Facebook Live. That's facebook.com/WDW Opinion. We'd love to have you. This is, where we're able to really connect with the WDW Opinion community, where we're able to hear your thoughts and opinions. We love doing it. I'll be doing this every single week as long as as long as you still keep showing up. It'll be awesome. And I can't wait to be back here, talk to you guys next week. Be sure to listen to the podcast. Follow us on social media at WDW Opinion. And until next time, I'll see you real soon.